Like we've been speaking about this entire time, it's really important to think about your financial models not just through your perspective, but through the perspective of anyone else who wants to do a deep dive on your work. And I found that color coding is one of the best ways to give that transparency. It's generally pretty uniform the way that we utilize a lot of these color codes with financial modeling. And probably the most popular use case of a color code is for anything in blue. That would indicate whether something is editable. So going back to my drivers tab, you can see all this information over here is in blue. This means that I could easily override this information without having to worry about causing an error in my model. That means by default, anything in black I could recognize is not really something that I should edit. So if I go back to my drivers tab, I can see that everything historically over here, as well as all of my calculation cells, are in black. Again, I don't want the reader to be able to edit that information. I could even take it one step further by locking down those cells with data validation, but I usually shy against that. Generally, I don't want to put too many restrictions on the file, and instead, I like to give the instructions and leave it up to the reader to decide if they want to abide by them. But it's really up to you. Aside from blue and black, we also have items that reference other cells. Now, I personally use purple for this, but I've seen other people sometimes use some sort of green. And the idea is that this really just signals that this cell pulls directly from another cell. So in this case, you can see that this pulls from row 99. If I then hop to row 99, I could see all of that information. And once again, this information is in black because I don't want people to edit this. The final color that I see in models is red, and that's any time that you have an actual error. So going back to our example over here, we have red values for our error check rows. So if I just overwrite a black cell that I don't want overwritten, you'll see that now I have this value screaming at me that we have an error. I like to put it in red so that it has a dramatic impact in stopping the user and helping them understand that there's an error in the model. Now, the exception to this rule is anytime that I have a dashboard. I generally don't really want to have different colors on that dashboard because I want to make sure that the dashboard is very presentable for when I'll then put it in a board deck. So even though these all are formulas, I may have, let's say, a direct reference from this cell to another cell. And instead of making it purple, I'll just keep it black so that it appears pretty in my dashboards when I then print it in my board deck. But it's really up to you as to how you want to proceed on that one.